hello all. So welcome back to the new episode of the Love of the Game Cricket Pod. So today we have Pranav here with us. So we are going to be covering a bit on the Duleep Trophy, which is going on currently. Exciting that from domestic cricket point of view in India, and also the Bangladesh India Test Series preview, and overall what's going on in the cricketing world. So first of all, so Pranav, let's talk about the Duleep Trophy a bit. So after a long while, it's got a bit of a hype in Indian cricket. So we have got some big names participating in this tournament. So there is Rishabh Pant is coming back in tests, and also there are many upcoming cricketers as well. So what has caught your eye out of this Duleep Trophy, and do you think this is a good experiment going forward? We should have this every year, or do you find it can be refined a bit, or what has caught your eye about this Duleep Trophy so far?
I think, first of all, hello everyone. Good to be back doing frequent episodes.
Yeah.
About Duleep Trophy, I think I like the tournament. Earlier, it was divided by zones, if you remember. Couple of zones together used to select teams. Like, for example, South Zone, it used to be Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Puducherry. So the Ranji stars from those teams would have been selected to Duleep Trophy, and then they play their games. But now the national selectors have stepped in and they have selected the side. So it's sort of keeping an eye on the important series like Border Gavaskar Trophy in Australia, which is for the first time happening as 5 tests.
Right.
And then you go to England for another 5 tests and potentially the WTC final. So I like the sort of preparations that are being done before the Ranji Trophy season begins. And this should continue because they have cherry-picked talents who are potential test match players in the future. There are a couple of players who have caught my eye. Probably one of them is, of course, Baba Indrajit, who's been scoring runs for fun in Ranji Trophy since the last 2 or 3 seasons. Very disappointed that he's been ignored quite a few times, but I hope he gets his go, well-deserved go, while Mushir Khan has been impressive. I think the sort of composure that he showed under pressure was excellent. The fast bowlers in Akashdeep and I think a bit of Yash Dayal I'd seen was pretty impressive as well. Shams Mulani impressed in this ongoing game that's going on. I had a lot of hopes from Vidwat Kavirappa, but I think he's missed out unfortunately. Sanju is playing a red ball game after quite some time.
Right.
So there's Ishan Kishan who came back a very long time and then he scored 100. Prasidh Krishna is bowling well. So slowly we have sort of crop which we can rely on when there's an injury or there are people to be rested before a key tournament while a test match is happening. So I sort of like that thinking and they should continue.
Yeah, fair enough. So, talking about the fast bowling reserves, maybe. So, you brought up the Border Gavaskar Trophy later this year. So, we have Bumrah, Shami, Siraj. These 3 are more or less fixed. So, regarding the fourth seamer and after that, so who do you see? Is it Akashdeep or somebody else? So, what's your take on that?
I think with Australia, you have to let's look at this from an Australian point of view, because if you look at their bowling structure and then compare it with ours, it'll start making more sense. So they have a left arm bowler in Mitch Starc.
Right.
They have good. I mean, he's a swing bowler, but he can also hit the deck in Pat Cummins. They have a full length bowler in Josh Hazelwood. They have a backup in Scott Poland, who's an actual hit the deck bowler, and he can also nip the ball away from the surface. They have Nathan Lyon, who's an off spinner. If they want, they can call up other spinners in those who played in India when they were here in 2023.
Right.
So now, if you come to India's bowling, you've already mentioned Shami, Siraj, Bumrah, pick themselves. But I think you need that left arm angle, and that's why Yash Dayal has been called out, because if you look at Yash Dayal's first class records, it is pretty decent, and he bowls those, 4 to 6 meter lengths. You can use the angle and get that nip, especially to somebody like Travis Head, because I saw a report saying Head will open and Smith will push down to four.
Right.
In that sense, then it might be very crucial to get a left arm angle. I also like Harshit Rana a lot because he can hit the deck. So a lot of our viewers or a lot of Twitter folks sort of don't understand what's hit the deck. It's basically not banging the pitch hard, but it's getting that pitch to do the talking. So you have to hit those lengths consistently. So,
Right.
for example, a bowler like Shakib, if you give him a cone and he'll just keep hitting those lengths time and again,
Right.
because Shakib is not kind of a bowler. Of course, I'm taking a spin bowler example, but Shakib is not that kind of bowler who will use his variations to, get you down. He'll vary his pace. He'll not vary his length too much. So hit the deck bowler is that kind of bowler who will actually give you something off the pitch. And Australia generally offers bounce, except if it's Sydney or probably Adelaide a bit. But other venues, we're starting with Perth, so it'll be extremely crucial to have good fast bowlers. I'm also hearing Hardik Pandya has started the red ball practice, so
Okay.
we'll have to wait and
Nice.
see where that takes us to. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Harshit, Yash Dayal, and Akashdeep. Also keep an eye on Mukesh Kumar as well. He can use
Okay.
those lengths, but he might not suit well in Australia because Mukesh Kumar is more of a full length bowler. You don't want such bowlers because you don't want to give them driving lengths. Because if you remember the last part of the Oscar Trophy, I think Bharat Arun and they had cut the offside completely for Labuschagne and Smith. That's why you got them out, right? So, but Mukesh Kumar relies more on the full balls. He might struggle bowling straight line. So I think Akashdeep, Harshit, Dayal, and even Ashdeep, these four can be your reserve fast bowlers.
Yeah, so that's fair. So I think Ashwin was tweeting a lot about Indrajit as well. So I think in the recent Duleep Trophy, so I think he deserves a chance as well because, as you said, he has been performing very consistently throughout. So let's see how that goes later on. But so coming to this Bangladesh series, we have like they're coming to India. The first Test match is in Chennai, if I'm not wrong. So I think with their potent spin attack and also a pretty decent fast bowling attack, I think their bowling is pretty good for Indian conditions. And how do you see this going? Because like Rishabh Pant is coming back, and also KL Rahul is in the squad. So from an Indian point of view, so where how do you see the middle order shaping up with both Rahul, Rishabh Pant, and everyone in the side? So maybe give us your Indian middle order maybe. So according to you,
Probably, if you look at this series, I think as a whole picture, this will be a battle between Bangladesh spin attack and Indian batting because
right,
Indian spin attack is quite potent, uh, and it's far ahead in terms of superiority towards Bangladesh. Of course, they have Shakib, Mehdi Hasan Miraz, Taijul Islam, others, but I think that's where the whole series lies, and it's a two-test series, which is an absolute shame because I am against two-test series. But after that, New Zealand comes, so we'll cover that separately. But in terms of the middle order, KL Rahul will start because he's done decently well in the middle order in the short while that he's performed. Hard on Sarfaraz, but I think he starts. KL Rahul starts. So the middle order will look like Gill 3, Kohli 4, Rahul 5, Rishabh 6, Jadeja 7, Ashwin 8. They will go with Kuldeep because they want that sort of variation with Bangladesh
right.
having a lot of left-handers, hard on Aksar, but I think Kuldeep did really well with the bat in the England series as well. Um, that's how I see the middle order shaping up. Probably KL Rahul has these two tests and one in New Zealand series before Sarfraz gets a look in because I think it's time that he performs. And he scored a decent 50 in the Duleep Trophy, but unfortunately got out playing a sweep, which was, I don't know why did he play that. But yeah, it's sort of an ultimatum on KL Rahul perhaps. Shubman Gill probably survives this series because of what he did in England series, but he also needs to score runs, and that's where I see these other two spots where it could get interesting with Indrajit and Padikkal, and even Sarfaraz scoring
Right.
runs. Even Padikkal made his test debut in Dharamshala, so um, yeah, it could be interesting times because if you're not performing, then probably they'll push KL to three, get Sarfraz at five. Who knows? So it'll be an interesting game. I feel hard for Dhruv Jurel as well because he did
Right.
exceptionally well in the England series after he was brought in for Pona Srikarmara. Uh, but I think he could get a look in at some point when they feel Pant should be rested, or they might send Pant to the 8 over and ask Jurel to do in the New Zealand
Mm.
series. It's important for India to win these 5 tests to have won at least a foot and a half in the WTC final.
Right.
So we'll play the best side. Yeah, that's how I see. In terms of Bangladesh squad, it's not pretty different from what they did in Pakistan. Only thing is Shariful Islam is injured.
Mm.
He's missing out. They've got Jakar Ali, the only
Mm.
uncapped player in the side. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same squad that played in Pakistan. But of course, the playing 11 will be different. I'm very excited to watch Nihad Rana. It's 140.
Right.
He covered twice in the same test. So it'll be interesting to see how they shape up. Chepok will be interesting. We saw a lot of runs in the India women versus South Africa women solitary test, which India won, I think, quite comfortably. We'll have to wait and see how this wicket shapes up. The weather looks good too. So, yeah, pretty excited for the test season. That's
Right. Yeah. So, like regarding this test series, I hope the pitches are fair. I don't want it to be a ragging turner kind of a thing because that would bring both teams really close. The skills get a lot less tested. I think overall, if it's a proper subcontinent pitch, like it deteriorates day wise and it goes into day 4 and day 5 where we get a lot of turn, then that's a from my perspective that's a good cricket wicket and suits India better than just putting out a random turner kind of a situation. So and also I feel that like if you are considering BGT as the next big thing for Indian cricket to get tested, I think KL Rahul is probably more suited than Sarfaraz Khan with from the like naked eye. Obviously, Sarfaraz Khan has not been tested there, but I see KL Rahul and I see a lot of potential there. Like when you see him bat, means it's very close to Virat Kohli for me. Like I almost feel a sense of calm when he's batting, but somehow gets out. That's okay. But maybe you can call me a bit of a fan of KL Rahul as well. But his technique looks more than compact for any condition, to be honest. And I feel that he doesn't do justice to his talent enough. And if he can get his temperament right and everything, I think he's very well suited to red ball cricket in all conditions. As we saw in the England series, also like he was leaving the ball pretty well, like last time around. So hopefully he has a good series and has uh, goes to BGT and has a good series there, and maybe his career takes a good turn. So okay, leaving that aside, so now coming back to say the other series which is finished actually, the England Sri Lanka series. So Sri Lanka kind of managed to win the last one. So Nisanka scored that 100 in the chase and brilliant. And also like Kamindu Mendes is someone who caught my eye as well. So I tweeted about that. And so overall, so your take on that series. So personally, I feel baseball is okay for England conditions. They are kind of doing their thing. That's okay. But it's not against very good sides. Means if you kind of pre-baseball and with baseball, if you kind of like look at their stats and everything, they are kind of good. It's not that different. Means they're still lagging at the bottom of the World Test Championship rankings. Like they're nowhere near to that final. And also like when in the Joe Root captaincy era, also they were kind of winning at home against lesser teams, if I may say so. But they were still kind of struggling against away and also like in a lot of fight against Australia, India in their home conditions. So what's actually changed? I just feel their batting looks very impatient to me at times. So has it actually changed anything, or is it just a lot of like words coming out and fake positivity, if I may say so. Like maybe it's too harsh. So what's your overall take on this series? Go ahead.
I think credit to Sri Lanka for retaining their overall record, as you can see on the screen already. Since I think 1998, they have not lost a test on at the Oval, which is pretty impressive. Credit to Sri Lanka and Jayasuriya for turning things around. Um, First on Sri Lanka, I think where they won. So if you actually take a particular test match, and this is how I look at it, a lot of us can have different views on this. If the first innings lead is somewhere around 50 to 80 runs, it's a 50-50 game because both teams are in the balance and it requires sort of a team effort to get one team over the line. Uh, and if you have a sort of 100 run lead, then it's a different game. Then you're doing
Right.
sort of a catch thing. So I think Sri Lanka ensured that the lead is not too big. It's 60, 62 runs. And their bowlers ensured, especially very happy for Lahiru Kumara because
Right.
he's been a very seasoned cricketer for Sri Lanka, but unfortunately marred with injuries. Sometimes can't hold his line, so all those things. But he picked up a few wickets. Asita Fernando impressed a lot throughout the series. Um, Even Milan Ratnanaike did well with the ball. There are a few fines for Sri Lanka. Dhananjaya De Silva impressed as a captain. He was very patient with the bowlers, even though it's an inexperienced side.
Right.
Pathum Nissanka played really well. I think in terms of what baseball is, as I said in our previous episode, if the bowling is supporting England, then it's baseball. If it's not, then it's sort of normal cricket because you can play attacking cricket. Now they're going to Pakistan, and then they'll also play attacking cricket there as well because quite naturally you have flatter wickets there. It's there are no pitch curators. It's all road
Hmm.
contractors with
Okay.
wickets. It's absolute flatbed, and there also you can see baseball coming. But I think overall, from a perspective that I've seen them home and away where they're challenged, baseball doesn't save them because I mean I find it very funny to say, even though Joe Root has been very consistent, the rest of the batting has actually disappointed. Um,
Right.
Harry Brook did well here and there. Jamie Smith did well, uh, did exceptionally well, in fact, because from county division they have picked up players. Shoaib Bashir did decently well, and quite surprisingly, they have left out Tom Hartley from their squad to Pakistan.
Right.
Was a was one of the key performers of the India series, but they took him to the T20 World Cup, but then suddenly dropped him from everywhere. Not sure if he's injured, but yeah, I think as I said, England's bowling has been a serious issue. After Broad and Anderson, there are no attacking bowlers, and that's where it's a problem. You could see that sort of desperation when once Nisanka and Usal Mendes took the attack on day 4 evening or day 3 evening. The last session they attacked and England lost the mentality. So that's sort of an issue with these guys that you have a template set but your bowling is not supported. And that's where it's a problem. So now with McCullum being the white ball coach, we'll have to see how they approach because it'll be a test for one person to get the same
Right.
template to the entire setup. But what I again think is England's bowling, be it any format, you don't have a very potent bowling attack, and that's where it's a problem. And I think England needs to soon address that. Otherwise, they'll be in big trouble because post 2015 they had a good team, a really well shaped up team. They also gave a tough fight during the Ashes. But then with this sort of hype of batting approach, bowling not supporting is sort of worrisome.
Yeah. So, like, I think from an England perspective, I think then like biggest challenge has always been to win an away Ashes series, like in Australia. So if we are taking that as the benchmark, then I think like playing too aggressively might not work in their favor, given that you have to grind out huge scores in Australia to kind of challenge them. So let's see how that goes. I think the what's missing from the England team is that in very difficult situation, the batsmen don't seem to grind out from them. Like they don't seem to have the patience to like play out balls and then carry on a partnership like how a test match kind of flows with the batting side of things. So maybe that's their template. So we will have to see how it goes. So apart from that, so anything else you want to talk about? I think in the cricket world, or should we wrap it up for today? Anything else you have in mind?
Well, before we wrap up,
Yeah.
one key thing that has come to my mind is this probably might be the last time we're seeing Ashwin and Jadeja play together. I don't know
Right.
who's retiring, what's happening, but uh,
Okay.
to the viewers, if you're around, go to the stadiums, watch them play cricket for the probably the last time together, because it sort of gives me a feeling that they'll just call it off sometime soon. If they win the WTC final, then probably they'll call it off. Could be a big call, but I think it's sort of getting to that place where you see transition slowly happening with a lot of other players performing. I'm not saying Ashwin and Jadeja have not been performing. That'll be super stupid of what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say here is they've realized that their bodies are not sort of listening to them anymore. Probably fitness standards, etc., etc. So if you're around, go to the stadiums, watch the games, enjoy the test cricket that's happening, because the next series that happens in home is probably year and a half later, something,
Mm,
because you have Champions Trophy, then they play in England, then they come here, but
right.
then you have sort of going back to New Zealand. In the meantime, you have a women's T20 World Cup in UAE
Right.
starting in October, and India take on Pakistan in the opening game, I think. And yeah, so keep your support for them as well. Let's hope we get the double glory. We'll also
Right.
cover that season when we get there. Um, India has a lot of potential to do well there as well with the sort of team that they've taken.
Yeah. So I think like what you pointed out is very true actually. So both of them are like kind of aging a bit. So I think Ashwin Jadeja is a lot more than just like two spinners who are kind of making India win. So if you look at their duration and how they complement each other, it's like fascinating over there, especially in the home series which India plays. So I think without Ashwin Jadeja, I don't think India would have had such kind of dominance. No chance, I feel. So hopefully we get good replacements for them. I think that's something I don't see a proper replacement for Ashwin as of now. Maybe Jadeja, maybe we have a decent left arm spinners. We have to see that. But regarding Ashwin, I think he is just a magical bowler, especially like over in all conditions. I would like to say that Ashwin has not got enough chances away to prove his mettle. Maybe in England he could have done much more better than what his record suggests. In Australia, last time in BTT, we saw what he did. So I think like it's gonna be a good transition phase for India. Hopefully, one of them stays around to help that through. So all the best. Yeah, as Pranav said, please go and watch them, enjoy them till it lasts. And thanks all for watching this, joining on this one. Please share your comments, what you feel about the upcoming home season for Indian cricket and overall whatever is going around in the global cricketing world. Hopefully, enjoy this show. Catch you up later soon again. Bye.
Cheers, bye.